Where are you going?
Hey everyone, it's Skyee here. So today I'm going to be doing a review of another one of Alena Lazareva's books. She sent me 3 to review. We've already taken a look at Ladies of Nature, so next in line is Goddess. So this is the front cover of this book. So it just simply states Goddess Coloring Book. It mentions that it includes full color images and that it's grayscale and line art illustrations. Again, I think it's kind of strange that it doesn't have Alena's name on the front cover, but if you flip it over to the back, it does have her name as well as her website on the back, and it does show the images that are available in the book, which is pretty cool. And so there are 10 grayscale and, or actually no, I think there's 11 grayscale and 9 line art for a total of 20 images. So I do apologize, it is quite dreary today, but I wanted to get this filmed for you guys so we can get this video up as soon as possible. And I do have my light here. Hopefully it won't cause too much of a glare. So it opens straight into the full color images, so it shows quite a few of the goddesses that are featured. Actually, I think it might show all of the goddesses. No, I think it only shows a handful. Absolutely gorgeous. This one is my absolute favorite, and I think if I wasn't so OCD about my books, I would definitely take both of these out and frame them. Who knows, maybe I will one day. I feel like these would look just absolutely gorgeous framed in my bathroom. So here is the first image, and it does have a little blurb about the goddess on the left-hand side. Not all of them have the colored picture on the opposite side though. And the paper is super smooth. I quite like it. I'll talk a little bit more about the paper when I get to the page that I colored, but I do quite enjoy it, and I really love how every page has this border around it. So here's a line art page. So this is a line art version of a little bit closer up of the goddess that was on the previous page. So the paper is quite thin. You can kind of, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but I can see the line art of the image behind. That being said though, I did test out a couple different mediums on the paper and it reacted quite well. And as the camera kind of picks up a little bit, you have a little bit of a shiny finish to the paper. I don't know if you can see that kind of shine running through her hair. So I colored Cleopatra, and I'm actually going to come back to this. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. Again, this is still my favorite. Even in Greyscale, that image is just absolutely gorgeous. I almost colored this girl. She's the balance of an order, harmony, law, all of that. She kind of reminded me of like the Libra sign, which I'm a Libra. So then it shows some of her other coloring books that she has available, and mentions a little bit how she does high quality art prints, posters, cards. She even does curtains, iPhone cases, pillows, blankets, and these are the websites that they're available at. All of the information will be in the description, and that is the book cover to cover. So jumping back to this page here, I wanted to try out marker on this paper since it's so smooth. So I did use my Touch 5 markers, just those, to do a little bit of blending here to see how the paper would handle it. And it handled it very well. I'm not really much of a marker person, so I can't quite say from like a professional standpoint, but I think the markers did very well on this paper, and I tested the marker on this page just because there's nothing on the back of it. Whereas even though these are technically single-sided images, I don't really want to wreck the pages behind. So I personally would probably not use marker in this book, but it does work very well for those of you who aren't as bullheaded as I am. So I used a few different mediums for this page. I used Derwent Inktense for a lot of this gold. So mostly this here, this, and then her lips was done with the Derwent Inktense. Surprisingly, I found that it didn't look quite as intense on this paper though. I'm not quite sure why. So I did actually go back in with my Prismacolors to just give it a little bit more oomph. And then I did use Prismacolors on all of these smaller little gold bits, and then her shirt and the gems, as well as her skin. And other than that, the only other thing I used is Neocolor 2s, and I have to say I quite love how the Neocolor 2s reacted on this paper. You definitely would have to be careful with how much water that you used, but I used it for the background as well as for the flowers, and I did add a little bit of stickles in there as well. Just a tiny little bit, not too much. And I wanted to leave the background kind of simple. I wanted to leave it white up top, kind of fading into that, and I'm quite happy with how this turned out. So in regards to the paper, this is what I call like magic paper. It's a very weird paper to me, and I have a love-hate relationship with it. Some of the pros to this paper is it seems to work really good with pretty much anything you throw at it, which is awesome. I also feel like even though it's super smooth, you can put layers and layers and layers on top of it. A con being, I can't count how many layers I put on her skin, and if we come up super close, you can see that it's still pretty grainy. I could not burnish this paper for the life of me. Thankfully from a distance it looks burnished, so not really a huge deal. But overall I'd have to say I quite enjoyed this paper, although it did take a little bit of getting used to. So I wouldn't say that it's like the normal CreateSpace or Amazon paper, whatever it's called nowadays, but it's quite good. I quite enjoyed it. So that is it for this book. I hope you guys enjoyed. I have one more book of hers to review, and I will have a speed color at the end, so if you're interested in that, definitely check it out because I think it's turning out pretty good. That being said, again, everything is going to be in the link. Thank you, Alena, for sending me these books to review. I appreciate it. Hopefully I've done them justice. And to everybody else, take care, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!
you go.